Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tequila Talks. Your friend Tequila Bay, and we're back with Tequila Talks. Moving back from tacos and tequila and the craft cocktails, we're gonna be talking some good tequila today, and we have a special guest with us today.
Hello everyone, my name is Chinna Parker and I am so excited to be here. It's been a beautiful journey getting to know you, Luis, and just discovering your passion for tequila, your passion for people and the community and hospitality, and I just love it. I just love the vibe.
Thank you. Yeah, we've gotten to know each other recently over the last couple months at a couple of the community events, and then currently working on our own beauty brunch at El Patron. But really where the conversations have been really intriguing and passionate and layered have been centered and involved with the tequila. So that's where your interest of being part of Tequila Talks here today occurred. And yeah, I mean, I want you to kind of lead this conversation, talk about our relationship with tequila and the things that you do in the community, and then we'll dive into the conversation of good tequilas versus bad tequilas, which I know everybody out there wants to talk crap about celebrity tequilas and products that aren't traditionally made. I'm a pioneer of being open-minded and talking positively about most of the products, but like I always mention, I do prefer those time-honored products like Fortaleza or Tequila Ocho, so go ahead and get started, yeah.
Yes.
Rock and roll.
Well, yes, we're both passionate about things going on in the community, building and uplifting one another up, and the energy and just the vibe that we keep around us. My adventure with tequila was, I guess, a little slow. I'm not much of a drinker, I'm a deep thinker. But when I first was introduced to tequila, it was through margaritas. You know, young, 21, trip to spring break, going to Mexico, hanging out, and what's the drink? A margarita.
Tequila,
And that's how I was introduced to tequila. And I actually even did a bikini contest and won a giant bottle of tequila and ended up sharing it with everyone there because I know I couldn't handle it or bring it home. But that was my beginning journey with tequila, and you kind of just opened up my eyes to the plant and the soil and the fragrances and the rich layers that tequila possesses. And it just sparked my interest because, like I said, I'm not much of a drinker, but when you walked me through the tasting process, it was a truly enjoyable experience.
Well, thank you, yes.
So I loved it. So when did you fall in love with tequila?
I mean, I think it started with, you know, working at my dad's restaurant. I've been in hospitality for 13 years now. So as I developed, you know, work hours and hours in the restaurant, I developed this passion to, number one, sell and make money. And I thought about it, I'm like, how do I make more money here working at my dad's restaurant? And I started diving deeper into this tequila world, but then it stopped becoming about money and selling stuff. It just became the love and the passion of the art, of the history, the culture, and the representation of what it means to be of Mexican heritage and how that product specifically propagates to the world. So you were talking about your first experience with tequila and margaritas, and I think a lot of people, they say, you know, when I was in college, when I was young, I had a horrible experience. I don't drink tequila, I hate tequila. You didn't say hate, but you're like, you know, I'm not really too comfortable with it. So we were having dinner, this was what, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We were hanging out on our patio, and I'm like, look, Chinna, I'm gonna kind of try to change your mind about what it is to drink tequila. And we started diving into those layers. The conversation got really deep and intricate, and I like to talk and express about tequila in a very artistic fashion. So that's also why I fell in love with tequila, because it was this opportunity for me to be creative and for me to be artistic when I didn't think I was. I have an engineering degree, so I thought that like I was always left brain, science, STEM, but like tequila has given me this outlet of creativity and passion and artistry. So now I have the artistry of linguistics. So when I was telling you about all the nuances and the tonality and building that visual, so through words and through the things that we talk about tequila, we create a picture of what maybe the terrain in Mexico looks like, or where these agaves are growing, or how the tequila is being produced. So that's where I find true love.
Right, and for me, I just wasn't educated on tequila. You know, when I thought of tequila, you think of something that's a little bit dangerous because it's powerful. You know, tequila packs a punch. So for me, someone who's an extreme lightweight and usually just celebrates, you know, with a toast here and there, it was, I was just uneducated on tequila. And what you shown me was just a different side of tequila, because looking at all of these bottles, I don't know what's good, I don't know what's bad, I don't know what's strong, or the notes that I'm going to experience with tasting it. So let's dig into that a little. What makes a tequila, maybe not so quality, but just for the taste, considered a bad tequila?
Great question, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. So for you guys that, you know, are avid agave lovers and tequila lovers that already are well-versed, additives, that's kind of the conversation over the years, like this additive component. In Spanish, it's called abocante. So abocante, it's a much less invasive word as the word additive. I think in the English like nomenclature, just additive gives this like bad energy, this negative. And a lot of my videos, I talk about additive tequilas or additive-free tequilas, and I have this open mind, right? I want to be inclusive of what Tequila Lobos or Casamigos, what they've added to the market and how they've bridged these gaps to bring all these different new drinkers to the world of tequila. But when you talk about bad tequilas or crap tequilas or garbage, a lot of you creators of tequila, you want to talk about, oh, this tequila is garbage. To a degree, compared to Fortaleza, Los Abuelos, you know, there's definitely a discrepancy. It's like LeBron James versus me trying to play basketball. LeBron's the expert. If I get on the court, I'm garbage. But still, you know, I'm gonna put forth some good effort and I'm gonna put my piece. So like, when we talk about Casamigos, you wanna pass me that, the Reposado? This one right here, the Casamigos, So when we talk about Casamigos, the number one thing that the professionals or the people that know about tequila, they hate the additive. It's tasting like vanilla. It tastes like butterscotch. It tastes like, sometimes people say that it tastes like cake batter. Now, it tastes good for the untrained person. It's very smooth, it's drinkable. If I'm ever doing a shot, I'm at the bar, I'm not really taking things serious, this is actually my go-to shooter. I'm gonna order the Casamigos. But it doesn't taste necessarily like tequila because it is masked with the color, with the additive, with the vanillas. So the abocante was created as an enhancer and as a technique for distillers to produce tequila when the production maybe wasn't as consistent, if the barrel aging wasn't as precise. So barreling gives color to the tequila. So a type of additive is the oaking extract or the color, the glycerin and the coloring additive to make sure that Casamigos looks this color every single time.
Got it.
A lot of consumers, they want that consistency. And we were talking earlier about how I now love that kind of marriage of the wine drinking techniques and the tequila drinking techniques and the production and the variance of terroir and the variance of wine and tequila. And as many of maybe the untrained drinkers want that consistency, the really like trained and professional drinkers want that variance. So that's, I think, where the most important component of what makes a bad tequila versus a good tequila.
Okay, so what is a good tequila? What makes a tequila wonderful
and amazing? So if you read and you want to learn about the art, you want to be able to pay attention to that time-honored process. So tequila making has been occurring for over 250, 300 years. It was a product that was married between the European old world techniques of distillation and the new world just fermentation techniques. So there was a product called pulque, which was just like an agave beer, and that's what all of the natives would drink. So then the Europeans incorporated these techniques of distillation. So when you think about what makes a good tequila, you want a tequila that pays attention to that time honored, the brick oven cooking, that slow roasting. It pays attention to the tahona crushing, how they're actually extracting those sugars from the agave. It pays attention to how they're fermenting. Are they using natural yeast? Are they using natural components? Are they adding some of those fibers to elevate that agave experience? So the production between the good distilleries or the not so good distilleries, they're using much more modern techniques that are geared for volume production. So they're adding chemicals to speed up the fermentation process, or they're cutting down cooking times by cooking in pressured autoclaves. Or they're actually now, due to the fact that tequila is so popular, there's a shortage of agave, so now they're farming and they're harvesting agaves within a much smaller window of maturation. It used to be 7, 8 years. Some distilleries are now choosing agaves that are maybe 3 to 4 years. So again, all these factors influence a good tequila and a bad tequila. So I always tend to gear towards a tequila like Fortaleza, Los Abuelos. This tequila right here, made with all those time-honored processes, made the right way, and you can taste it. You see that stone right there on the bottle? That's the tahona. So that's a volcanic stone that crushes and grinds these agaves.
Nice.
So yeah, long story short, that's really the difference between a good and a bad tequila.
So, and I'm gonna break it down just a little. So for someone like me that's not as educated, because you have a law degree in tequila. Of course, you're tequila bae.
Yeah. You know, I'm
As you can see, he has a law degree, PhD in tequila. So for someone like me, if I'm not at El Patron Tequilery and I would like to purchase some tequila, maybe to have in my home, what would you recommend?
Great. So when it comes to recommendations, like I was saying, finding a bottle with this really cool piña, that's just an indication. Just if you see that at a store, you want to grab it. The Fortaleza, we have a bottle right here to the right of me, the Tequila Ocho. I just brought in the Reposado. These are, again, time-honored methods of production. Over here to your side, we have this Volcán de mi Tierra, additive-free, like we were talking about earlier. The bad tequilas are, again, like the Clase Surs, this bottle to the left of us. People want to say like everything's in the decanter. All your money is going to the decanter, which in a way it is. But again, it's an art form. There's Mexican artisans that are taking time to hand make those bottles, hand paint those bottles. The liquid might not be the best per se, again, due to those factors of production. But yeah, those brands, Siete Leguas, which I talk about a lot on my channel. We have Don Fulano, which we did on a previous segment. So these tequilas are definitely those productions that you want to look towards. And again, just keep watching my videos and see which ones I'm talking about and which ones I'm recommending. But now there's also, with Tequila Matchmaker, which Tequila Matchmaker is this database of information where a consumer that might not be trained can go on there and read about tequila. They're starting to put insignias on bottles that say additive free. So that's probably the most important metric, that you want to get an additive-free tequila, and that's kind of the start of what is going to enhance an experience.
I love that. Well, I hear that tequila has some perks. Me being health conscious, into physical fitness, eating right, you know, I love that you guys have the vegan tacos. Just had the mushroom and squash and the cactus taco. So with me being passionate about health and wellness, I hear that tequila doesn't carry the calories that most.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and so then that's where you want to pay attention to the additives. So are there added sugars? But when it comes to the actual distillation, it's the only plant-based distillate. So again, it's very clean. It comes from a very clean process, the calorie component. You're not adding all these infusions like a vodka that might be flavored or other components that might increase that calorie count. So yes, tequila, I drink a glass of tequila. I don't know the last time I went to the doctor, a glass of tequila a day. I have not gotten sick. I didn't even get COVID, and I was around it. I think it was the tequila that was keeping me clean. So yeah, I think it has amazing health benefits. So for a health conscious person like you, I think that's the drink of choice. So
okay, I love that. And are there any that you would consider more of a light tequila?
In which respect? What do you mean light tequila?
Like a light as in not full bodied, like a crisp light.
Okay, so yeah, a full bodied. So I think definitely if you want something that's much more light, you want to go with something that's unaged, that doesn't have all those layers of complexity that a barrel might influence, the oiliness, the tannic properties. So something that's light, a blanco. This Volcan in particular, it's very citrus forward. So in a margarita or just even sipping it, it's very clean on the palate, very citrus forward and smooth. So I would recommend something light, very thin again. So texture components, very thin. I would recommend that. So do you want to go ahead and crack something open? Because all this talking, I'm just getting thirsty. I need to drink some tequila and, kind of get recentered. So
I'll sip a bit.
we were talking about trying that corazon. Go ahead and hand that over to me. That's the Casamigos, the corazon right there. This one right here, yep.
Oh, the heart.
The heart, yeah.
I love this logo. I love
Mi
the
corazon.
heart.
So one of my friends brought this in for me yesterday. It's a Blanton's barrel aged corazon tequila. And I got to take a little sip of it yesterday. Now, it's not confirmed additive free, so let's characterize this as a crap tequila, not good tequila. But we're gonna talk about corazon on our next episode of Tequila Talks, so stay tuned. So let's go ahead and pour some of this out.
And you were telling me about the like the mango, the
Yeah, so this had a very nice note of tropical fruits, mango and pineapple, very well balanced. I'll pour a little bit of this myself. So let's go ahead and pour this, and then we're gonna compare the corazon, which is our crappy tequila, not additive free. Go ahead and slide that over.
I like the name. They did amazing with the name. I like the name with all my heart.
Corazon, mi corazon, my heart. And then we're gonna compare this to that fortaleza, that reposado, so that you get an experience of what that time-honored production is. I've tried this many times, so I'm gonna wait to finish that, and then I'll try this. So
I'm going from entry level to CEO.
Yep, let's go ahead and do that. Yep. Salud. We talked about last time when we were having dinner about the whole process of nosing.
Yes.
So you want to go ahead and nose the tequila. You get to analyze the body. So sometimes as you look at the legs and how full-bodied, and as those legs are running down the glass, you're able to notice if it's thin, if it's thick, you're able to analyze that.
Nice.
And then now just go ahead and take a sip. What do you think? Now again, this is our crap tequila. I was a big fan of it yesterday. Not confirmed additive free, so again, I'm not sure how they're producing this per se, but right off the rip, what do you think?
I think initially you taste it like it hits your tongue and there's the impact, but then over the time, it's just a smoothness as it goes down.
So the stringency off the rip, you kind of got to let your tongue kind of settle into the alcohol.
Yes.
But as it opens up and as, a little bit more time goes by, it starts to really smooth out. You notice those fruity notes? What do you notice note-wise?
Note-wise, I would say that this is a little, from the one I tried previously, this is a little, there's like less of the aroma, the different aromas.
Okay.
It's more solid. It's
Okay.
like more of a consistent note. If that
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
yeah, I think so. We were drinking Comos, which was very, very full spectrum. It had notes of citrus and flashes of vanilla
And
and
this
a little
is
bit of
just-
fruits from that wine barrel. This is I think it's a little bit much more like rough around the edges,
Right.
very oaky and spicy. But I think I noticed those notes of mango and pineapple much more yesterday. So even, a different day of drinking or a different environment can influence those flavor profiles.
Yeah.
So it's always
And I
good
do
to
smell them, the pineapple.
it's always good to revisit those drinks. So go ahead and drink the Fortaleza or Los Abuelos. So in Mexico, if you get this bottle in Mexico, it's Los Abuelos. If you get it stateside, it's Fortaleza.
Oh, and I see a lot less of the runny. See.
Yeah, so you see how it's taking much more time to run down the glass. So it's much more full body. You're gonna notice a little bit more oiliness and tannic components to that. Let's see, what do you think? Let me get a sip too. I'm gonna steal one now.
This is when you first taste it, it's a wow factor. a wow factor as soon as you taste it.
Extremely smooth.
Yes.
What else do you notice? Because this is what I will talk about is exactly what makes a good tequila.
Like,
Try to explain it. If not,
trying to explain the difference between the two. The one, when it first hits your tongue, it's more of a shock. When this one first hits your tongue, it's like it marinates in your mouth. And it's, I don't know if I could say buttery, more buttery.
Much more buttery.
It's more of a buttery and a consistency as it goes down.
Okay, excellent. So
separation.
I think that, so that butteriness, it comes from the ripeness of those sugars in that agave, Tequila Fortaleza. They use the most ripe agaves, but then that barreling that adds that tannic property. That one was aged in a bourbon barrel, which adds a little bit more spice. This one's just aged in American oak, so that vanilla forward component. But when you want to drink a good tequila, so that you notice some sort of like herbaceous, kind of planty, kind of grassy.
Yes.
That's the agave.
Nature.
Yeah, that's the agave that you're tasting. So anytime that you're noticing that herbal, herbaceous, grassy component, that's an indicator of a good tequila. Nice. You want to notice some pepper notes. You want to notice some of that maturity from the plant, from the fiber. So compared to a little bit much more oaky, dry, kind of more astringent, to a much more refined tequila.
Yes, because this tastes a lot more masculine. I would offer this more so to a man versus a woman. Naturally, because it has a...
Yeah, the flavor profiles can gear towards a different demographic of drinkers. So much more strong oak forward. This is a little bit much more buttery and smooth.
I love it.
So yes, so bad tequila, amazing. Well, just say CEO. And what is this one? Entry level and CEO?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the CEO, and that's why this bottle is almost empty. We gotta re-up. So any ending remarks? What did you think about being on Tequila Talks? You know, we talked about having this conversation be 10 minutes. I think we're like 30 minutes. We kind of lost track. So what are your ending remarks, and what do you think?
You'll have lots of good content, and that's what it's all about. But what I think is sometimes you just have to be open to new things. I'm really surprised by tequila. It's kind of caught me off guard as something that, you know, I can see myself enjoying from time to time, because in the flavors, I never paid attention to the flavors, because when I see people drink things like this, you see people taking shots.
Yes.
And I've seen people taking shots. I've never really thought to sit and really taste and explain and taste the notes or even smell the notes. So you just opened my eyes to a whole different world with your Tequila Talk.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for having me. This has been a beautiful experience.
Thank you, Chinna. Yeah, and not only here at Tequila Talks, but that dinner that we had a couple weeks ago, where we really, you know, in front of the camera, we got to kind of keep it rolling. But at dinner, I mean, we were talking about this for like an hour, and I was diving in and again, creating a picture of what you should be tasting, how you're nosing, the whole process of the tequila tasting, from analyzing the body, from getting into those notes, from really diving deep with your nose and trying to pick up as many of those characteristics, and then tasting. We did a slow sip, then we did a full sip. And yeah, I mean, most people are ripping back shots. Don't rip back your tequila, sip it, enjoy it like a fine wine. But yes, thank you. And I'm glad that I'm able to share my passion and connect with you through tequila. And as we move forward, connecting with the Sisterly Collective and building out our beauty brunch and all the things that we want to do for the community with tequila here in downtown Akron. So if you're around, please stop by, come check us out at El Patron Tequileria in downtown. So thank you again, Chinna. You did amazing.
Thank you so much for having
We had a great time drinking some good tequila. So on our next episode of Tequila Talks, we will be diving a little bit deeper on that Corazon. I just got that bottle in yesterday, so I want to be able to talk about Corazon, not confirmed additive free, but we'll dive into those nuances of what makes it a good or a bad tequila. But yeah, thank you for watching. Go ahead and like this video, give us a comment, share your thoughts with us, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time on Tequila Talks.